don't you introduce yourself?
FXOtgun. You probably haven't heard of me. I joined around the same time as FXO Anthony, and I've just been practicing with the team, and this is my first big major LAN event.
Can you talk to me about your gaming history?
I played Counter-Strike pretty competitively, but never really attended LAN events because I was young at the time and I was still playing a lot of sports. So I never really got into Brood War. I played like used map settings, fastest map possible, zero clutter, things like that. Nothing that was really amazing. Didn't touch IC couple PG Tour. And got into StarCraft 2 beta phase 10, I believe. So I was playing about 2 months before the game came out.
Cool. And where are you from?
I'm from Australia, Sydney, Australia.
What do you like to do outside of StarCraft?
Just spend time with my girlfriend, maybe go to the movies with my friends, play sports, but nothing too strenuous right now.
You have a job, or is this your full-time job?
I quit my job about 3 months ago before we came here to practice more.
Well, what did you do?
I was just running poker tournaments and working at my local sports bar.
What made that decision take place? How did you decide that this is what you wanted to do?
Before I joined FXO, I was only like mid to high masters, and then I spoke to FXO on Stable, which is our manager / coach, and I was talking to him because I'd known him from the days of Southeast Asia when we couldn't get into North America. We used to cast, we used to play twos, and I said, you know, what would I have to do to get on FXO? And he basically explained I have to practice more, I have to dedicate myself. So I made the decision to change from playing recreationally like 2 or 3 hours a day to practicing about 8 to 10 hours a day. And eventually he put me in a practice game, and I think I impressed him enough, and they brought me onto the team.
I would say so. I mean, you're going to Korea, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So what is going to be the toughest thing about going to Korea for you?
Leaving my girlfriend back in Australia. That's been a very hard decision for me.
I can imagine. I mean, is there anything else you're giving up?
Not really. I mean, I don't play sports anymore because I injured my knee about a year and a half, 2 years back, and I never really fully rehabilitated. So I gave up sports, and I'm just playing like poker and things like that now. So
when you go, what are your expectations for Korea?
I think we'll do well in the JSTL. I think that most of the community have a really weird conception of Korean skill because of what happened in Brood War with foreigners always being just really bad in comparison. I mean, I play a lot of Koreans on the ladder, and I'd like to think I do all right, but I'm not really factoring in the lag issues, things like that. So, I mean, I'm hoping we place top 3 and we get into the playoffs, and even if we don't place top 3, we're still getting great practice experience. We're still going to be in a house as a team, living as a team, practicing 10, 12 hours a day. So it should be great for us.
Okay, so like I said before, a lot of people, a lot of foreigners, good foreigners have been there in Korea, and the results have been uneven, some great, some not so great. So why will you succeed where the others haven't?
Because we're going as a team. Every other foreigners went on their own, maybe with a manager, maybe with a friend, and lived in the GOM house. And if you're lucky, you have 2, maybe 3 other people over there that will speak English to you and practice with you. But even then, they're not in an organized environment. They're not able to get up and say, hey, let's play, 12 games. I want to iron out this strategy in ZVP. I want to see how this works, how I can transition, what happens from it. As well as just everyone on the team knows each other. We all practice already. We all talk to each other. It's a really friendly environment.
Cool. If you could play one Korean today, who would it be?
Today? Just the ones visiting MLG, or just any Korean at all?
The ones visiting MLG.
MMA.
MMA, you think you could do well?
I hope so. I mean, I just love Slayers as a team. They have a really friendly environment. They all work really hard. They brought like the Brood War mentality over, maybe because of Boxer and his coaching. I'm not too sure, but just their whole mentality when they approach practice is just phenomenal. So in Korea, talk to me about where you're going to live and how you expect it to go. I believe we're living in the GOM house. I'm not 100%, but that's what's been said in the Skype chats. And for me, I don't really go out partying and stuff much, so I'll just be in there basically 24/7 practicing unless we go out and like have a soccer match or something friendly with one of the other teams. Mm-hmm. Okay, and talk to me about like so you dropped out. You quit your job a couple of months ago, so you've been training pretty hard. Yeah. Do you think that there's going to be sort of a shock once you go to Korea? Like, will that change, or will it be similar? It'll be similar to what I'm doing now, but I believe just the skill ceiling on Korea is much higher, obviously, because there's a lot of former Brood War pro gamers, people that have really dedicated themselves into the game, more so than there are on North America. On North America, you're lucky when you hit roughly top 100 Grandmasters, you'll be playing the same people a lot, and you'll know their sort of practice regime, and it just flat out isn't as strenuous, and they don't get the same real results from a pro gaming team such as Slayers.
Okay, one of the big problems that people have had in Korea is that they get, for lack of a better word, kind of lonely, bored, because the culture is not incredibly diverse. The English speaking is limited, to say the best. And you're talking about leaving a girlfriend at home. And I don't want to push you on that, but I wonder, do you worry at all about how you're going to like socially work in Korea?
Not really. I mean, like I said before, I don't really go out much. I'm not the sort of guy that's going to go to parties every night. And we have 2 people that are fluent in Korean on our team, so the language barrier won't really be an issue. I believe they're going to help us all learn bits and pieces of Korean, like enough to get by, as well as if we need them to, they'll be translating for us. So it shouldn't really be an issue, but we won't know until we get there.
Right. Okay, can you talk to me about what it's like to be on FXO, what your experience has been thus far?
It's amazing. I've been improving a lot more than I was on my own. I mean, when I was on my own, I'd be lucky to have 3 to 4 people max that I know that were around my skill level that I could practice with, that I could just message and say, hey, what do you think about this strategy? How do you think this will work? How do you think you can transition? Whereas when I'm in FXO, I can just log on to Skype and go, hey guys, I need to run this, or what does this sound like? Or if I'm like having trouble in a certain matchup, I can ask Sean. I can just be like, hey, how do you approach ZVP mid game? And I'll get a response pretty much straight away. Or if I need practice, it's always available. Cool.
Okay, so how do you feel about the way that everyone's reacted to the fact that you guys are going? Because it's been a mixed reaction.
There's always going to be people that are negative. That's pretty much life. I just hope that we can change their views. I hope that when we go over them and we perform well, that they'll see that that something will change in their head, that the Koreans aren't miles ahead like they were in Brutal. It's not a completely different thing, because people like Huck and Jinro have went over and they've had pretty decent success. Jinro got into Code S. I mean, he recently got knocked down to Code A, if I'm not mistaken, and Huck is still in Code S. And they went over on their own. I mean, they're pretty much segregated from the English-speaking community. I mean, they have Team League where they have channels to speak to them, but they're living over in a foreign country. So, I mean, it's a huge difference, but they're still having pretty good success. Now, when we go over as a team, especially with people that speak Korean, we should have theoretically more success because we'll be in a better environment. But like I said, this is just really something for us as a team to go through, more as training and practice.
Okay, great. Good luck. I wish you the best of luck, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.